Welcome to Mrs. Bat's 101 Bat Facts. Today we're going to be discussing that one thing that we all see and hear about in vampire movies. Yes, you got it, the vampire bats. We're going to be uncovering and revealing how they are a secret eco-warriors here in the Americas. Now, it doesn't matter if you're from Central America, North America, or South America. They actually play a very important role in our ecosystem here in the Americas. How is that so? Well, first, disease control. So how do they control diseases? Well, they actually control the populations of livestock, such as cattle, horses, and pigs, and things of that nature. So by feeding on these animals, vampire bats actually prevent the spread of diseases, such as hoof and mouth disease, as well as anthrax. Pretty cool stuff, right? Now, they also play an important role in pollination. How do they do that? Well, what they do is they actually feed on other bats who consume pollen, and the pollen is in their blood. Bet you didn't know that, right? Pretty cool. So like I said, everything comes full circle in the circle of life. But they also play an important role in seed dispersal. How do they do that if they don't pollinate, like as an actual pollinating bat? Well, the really cool part is that they disperse the seeds into the rainforest by regurgitating the seeds out of the plants that they had been feeding on. So yes, they do actually feed on plants. Pretty cool, right? Now, let's address the number one concern, the question on everybody's mind about vampire bats. And their greatest concern is their ability to transmit rabies. Now, we know that rabies is a deadly virus and it can be spread from an infected animal bite, right? Not just bats, but from any infected animal. But the cool part about vampire bats is that only 1% of the vampire bat population actually carry rabies. So even though the virus is not always transmitted through the bite, it makes that risk very low to be able to contract rabies from a vampire bat. Now, how do you protect your cattle and your livestock? Pretty simple, get them vaccinated, guys. That's what vaccinations are for. You can vaccinate against rabies. So better to do that than to lose hundreds of dollars in livestock and sometimes potentially thousands. So overall, vampire bats play an important role in our ecosystem, and they play a number of beneficial roles. Now, while they can pose a risk for transmitting rabies, the benefits of vampire bats heavily outweighs the risk. How is that so? Let me give you some additional bat facts before we wrap this up. So a single vampire bat can consume up to 10% of its body weight in blood per night. Now, they are the only mammals that feed exclusively on blood. Now, they also play a major important role in our medical field. What are you talking about, Miss Bats? It's their saliva. In their saliva, the vampire bats contain an anticoagulant, which actually prevents the blood from clotting, right? So imagine someone with a heart condition who needs a heart transplant. Their saliva can save your life. Now, here's a really cool random bat fact as well about vampire bats. They actually have a complex social structure. They form very strong bonds with their family members. Pretty awesome, right? So vampire bats also are an important source of food for other animals. Like I said, this is the circle of life. Everything has a balance. So they actually provide food for snakes, hawks, and owls. So vampire bats alone are actually being controlled by being a part of that food chain for owls, hawks, and snakes. Pretty awesome. Now, despite their negative reputation, right, vampire bats are important in our ecosystem, and they play a number of beneficial roles. By helping to control pests, pollinate plants, and disperse seeds, vampire bats contribute to the health and the diversity in the rainforest. So let's knock out the misconception of bats. Let's vaccinate our animals, know that our risks are low, and that it could save your life. Let's continue dancing for bat facts. Thanks for watching.
If you don't hustle too much, so tell your shoe don't worry. One word can change your destiny. Situation won't make you carry gun. One word can change your destiny. One word can bring the dead back to life, and it can only take one word to stop strife. Now say to yourself, I will make it this year. Sure, I will make it this year. Who they from bad guy now for your own head? One word is enough for the wise. I go be the head, I no go be the tail. That is one word that can change my destiny. If you don't hustle to